Everybody who has joined us.
Make sure you can see the screen. Hi everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to our FS2 Meet the Team meeting. Hopefully in this meeting we'll answer lots of the questions that you've already had at the start of this year. So firstly, we'll just introduce ourselves. I'm Miss Lorraine Wade. I am the FS2 Falcon class, and I'm also the head of FS2 this year.
I am Miss Kibble, and I am the class teacher of the Oryx class this year.
And I am Anna Littlechild, and I am the Camel class teacher this year.
We're sure you've already heard our names. Your kids have probably come home and been talking all about us and the fantastic time they've had too. We'll talk about some more adults that we have in and out of our classrooms.
Okay, so the teaching assistants. Each FS class has got one teaching assistant and a floating teaching assistant. Falcons has got Miss Sarah. Oryx has got Miss Shiny. Camels, there's Miss Artie. And the floating teaching assistants are Miss Tangara and Miss Afsa. And they're very, very helpful. And the kids just love them.
We also have some specialist teachers. So we have Mr. Stone, who's a lovely PE teacher, Miss Robinson, who's a lovely PE teacher, and Mrs. Harty, who's also lovely and the head of PE. So your children may also talk about those teachers also, because I know lots of children especially love PE as well. And then we also have Miss O'Neill, who's the music and drama teacher, also wonderful, and Mrs. Nazreen, who is their amazing Arabic teacher.
So as you know, we have been starting the year doing our staggered start timings. So at the moment, our doors are open at 7:25 for us to do that soft drop-off, where you can bring your children from 7:25 to 7:45 a.m. And we also are finishing slightly early last week and this week. So this week is our final week of staggered start, and it's a 12:30 p.m. finish. Normal school timings will resume on Sunday, the 13th of September.
Okay, so for next week, when we begin our normal school timings, the days from Sunday to Wednesday will be 7:45 to 2:35 p.m. and Thursdays will be 7:45 to 1 p.m. Please make sure that at drop-off time, you're dropping your children off between 7:25 and 7:45. Please ensure that they're here on time and are not dropped off any later. And then when you're picking them up, please make sure that you're picking them up at 2:35 p.m. Please ensure that you're always on time at drop-off and pick-up time, because it's very important. Teachers and TAs do have other duties that they need to attend to. So please always be on time for drop-off and pick-up. And also, please, as I said, no late collections, as there's no late class this year.
We do celebrate punctuality and attendance as well. We celebrate that with our On Time and In School Cup, the Otis Cup. So you can support your child with that and celebrate with them the fact that they're turning up to school on time and that they're attending every day.
So here is a sample timetable for FS2. Now the specialist subjects may be on different days according to the class that your child is in. This is just, as I said, an example timetable. Obviously it says swimming here on a Sunday morning, but at the moment, unfortunately, due to things out of our control, there isn't any swimming. But the children will have PE therefore twice a week, which they'll certainly enjoy. They'll also have one drama lesson a week and also one music, along with Arabic A and Arabic B. So that's their specialist subjects that they'll have every week from next week. As you can see, in between these specialist subjects, we have some inputs, which will be the teacher input to your class, depending on what they're learning that day or that week. And then we have a free flow. At the moment, this free flow is indoors. When it obviously gets cooler and we get the tick for the temperature being a safe temperature, then we can also have a free flow outside. If you're doing remote learning at the moment, obviously this is where you'll choose either from the choosing menu, the options that we give you, or it may be that your child will choose to do some learning through the toys that they have at home. And as you can see, and we have enrichment, which is a lovely time that may be something like yoga or crafts or mindfulness, colouring, depending on the children's interests, to make them feel happy individuals. And we always end the day with a story session and song. Just keep those smiles on their faces before they go home.
So with regards to attendance, across the academy, we are looking for a minimum of 96% attendance, which does seem quite high, but according to the KHDA, our regulating body, that would be judged as very good attendance. Obviously our school is judged as very good just now, so it's really important that we try to maintain above 96% attendance. The KHDA, anything below that, they would judge that as good or acceptable, or even as weak. Even if your child's attendance is down at 90%, that would be judged as weak. Please don't send your child to school if they have any cold or flu-like symptoms with the ongoing pandemic. If we notice that any children are displaying any of those symptoms in school, we will be contacting the school nurse, and it's most likely that they would be sent home for that day. The medical team would then get in touch with you to let you know what the procedures were before bringing your child back to school. We do operate a first day calling service, which will start from next week. So if there are any children who do not come to school and we don't know why they're not here, we'll receive a telephone call about that in the morning. So it's very important that you report any absence to us. You can do that by emailing absence_week@gemzedu.com, and please copy in your child's class teacher so that they're aware of the absence and why the child is off. It's really important that you do that. Please don't rely on the school calling you, because when we have a lot of children absent, it can take a long time for us to call back and get through that list. So it's really important that you communicate that in advance. There may be times in the year where you might have family emergencies, or we've had parents who maybe have to go to the embassy to sort out visa, sort of documents and things with their children before. If there's any reason why you have to apply for leave for your child, you can do so by contacting absence_week@gemzedu.com. They will send you a form to fill out, but please have a look at the little table on the right-hand side here, which will tell you why people might apply for absence and when that would be granted and when it wouldn't be considered. So for example, please do not apply to take your child on holiday throughout the academic year unless it's a school holiday. There are some things that would be considered, so for example family weddings, etc., but we would have to have your child having really high attendance for us to approve that.
Okay, the school uniform. Please make sure that the children are in the correct uniform each day. There's their blue uniform that they must wear every day except for PE. So on PE days, please ensure they come dressed in their PE uniform, and they can wear that for the full day. They don't have to change back into their school uniform. So that will remain for the full day. Please make sure that you're regularly checking the children's size for their uniforms. They do grow quite quickly at this age, so it's always best to make sure that they're wearing clothes that are actually fitting them properly. Make sure that when they are coming in their PE uniform, that it is the correct house colours that they're wearing. Polo shirts, please make sure that they are tucked in so the children look neat and tidy each day, and teachers will help them during the day when they have to go to the toilet. We'll help them tuck it in if they're having a little bit of trouble doing that. Shoes, please make sure that they are black and they're polished regularly. They need to have the school bag with them. Their hat needs to be worn when it's outside. If it's no hat, it's no play. That's the school policy. Please ensure that everything has a label. Children can lose things, and if you've got your name on there, we will always be able to get it back to the children. So make sure it's got their name and also their class on the labels. Also, please ensure in school bags they have spare clothes, because accidents can still happen in FS2. So please make sure they have a spare set of clothes and underwear always in their bag. Now, girls are able to wear small studs in their ears, but they need to be removed when they do PE. Also, their shorts and skirts need to make sure that the buttons are always fastened. And if they've got a sweater, it cannot be tied around their waist. So if they don't need to wear their sweater, that will be put in their bags or their cubbies.
Just going to reiterate the importance of having spare clothing in FS, particularly at this time. We don't have any spare clothing in our classrooms that we can use. You have to provide that spare clothing. Now, it might not just be a toilet accident that we need spare clothing for. Your child might knock their juice or their water bottle down themselves, and we don't obviously want them sitting in wet clothes for long periods of time. So please make sure they have spare clothing. You can pop it in a little bag with their name on, and we will keep that in the cubbies in their classroom for any accidents or any circumstances where we might need them to get changed out of their uniform.
And if I could just make a bit of an appeal to any parents who had children in FS1 last year, if you've got any old FS1 clothing that's too small for your child, the school uniform, if you could send that in for me, that would be fantastic, because we can put that in the FS1 department.
Okay, now breaks and lunches. So we have a break time and a lunchtime, so 2 chances for the children to be able to eat. At the moment, food is eaten in the class until further notice. They are to bring in a packed lunch. Now, you can order from slices, and that's not something I would encourage you to do at the moment, just in case the lunch is delivered late. And it might be difficult for it to arrive to the classroom. So a packed lunch, I would really advise you do a packed lunch for them, including some healthy snacks. We don't have any water on site that you can refill water bottles from, so it's really important that the children are bringing in enough water for the day, particularly on PE days. Just ensure that they have an extra bottle of water for all that running around they may do. We are a no nut school. That includes Nutella, and we are not allowed any pork or whole grapes. If you want the grapes to come in their lunchbox, please just ensure that they're cut and they're cut up nicely for them to be able to eat properly. If your child does have any allergies, please inform both the class teacher and the medical team. Now, with snacks and lunches, we really want to promote independence. So practicing eating at home is really beneficial for the children when they do have their snack time and lunchtime in class. So even things like practicing opening packets, opening bottles, opening their own lunchbox, zipping open their bag and closing it again. And they're all really important things that will help support both your child and ourselves during break and lunchtime.
Sleep is very, very important for children of this age, and they really do need to get a very good night's sleep so that they can concentrate when they're here at school. We do lots and lots of fun activities, and if they're feeling a little bit sleepy, they'll miss out on a lot of the fun times. So please make sure that you've got a regular bedtime routine happening with your children each night. Weekend routines, it might change a little for maybe Thursday and Friday night, but on Saturday night, please make sure that they're going to bed early so that they've got lots of sleep and they're wide awake for the school day on Sunday morning. Now, children of this age should be getting between 11 to 12 hours sleep per night. So that means that children should be in bed by, at the latest, 7:30 at night. So please, it's very important that they are getting that amount of sleep at night so that they can function during the day and enjoy themselves at school. And by the time they get to FS2, they don't need to have any naps during the day. They can go the whole day without a nap if they're getting the correct amount of sleep at night.
I want drawing.
Okay.
Okay, we're all about promoting positive behaviour at WEC. Yeah, I'm sure you've had some of the children that have already been in FS1 at WEC. And I know that this was an activity that we did for the remote learners this week, and we've also spoken about it on site as well. So we have the Give Me 5, which children love doing, which is just about them when we're doing, when we want the children to listen to the learning, we say that their legs should be crossed. Obviously, all their legs are still if they're sitting at a table, their hands are still, their ears are listening, their eyes are watching, and their lips are zipped. That's Give Me 5, if you hear your child talking about that. We also have the Mr. Men chart in every classroom. Again, this was shared for the remote learners as well this week, or will be. It's on Wednesday, I believe it's scheduled for, where we have Mr. Perfect, which may be your child may do something that's shone that day. For example, if a child was sad and missing their mummy and daddy, this child might have noticed that, and instead of playing with their toys or doing things that they want to do, they might have made the extra effort to make this child feel better. So we might say, wow, Mr. Perfect, you have shone. You didn't need to do that, but you have gone above and beyond to make your friend happy. And we have Mr. Happy, where we hope all children will be, and that's just about them sharing, listening, being good friends and good learners. And we have Mr. Forgetful, so if the teacher does need to say to a child something again, and they're forgetting it, we'll be like, oh no, I think you need to go on Mr. Forgetful now. And then hopefully no one will have to go on Mr. Topsy-Turvy. Mr. Topsy-Turvy is there if your child is repeatedly forgetting something or they do something really bad. So Mr. Topsy-Turvy, but I don't think I've ever had to put any child on Mr. Topsy-Turvy. We also have Learner of the Week. So each week we'll have an assembly. I believe Mrs. Finn said in the Teams assembly last week. We'll have a Learner of the Week. So that child will be presented with a certificate or their name on the screen, so they feel special for that week. And we also encourage class helpers all of the time so that your children feel responsible and like little happy adults that they can be.
So at the Academy, we've got lots of different ways of communicating with parents. The sort of main way that you might have been communicating with your teacher just now is through email, and we're happy for that to continue throughout the rest of the year. On weekdays, we do aim to respond to you within 24 hours, even if it's to say, I'm not sure of the answer to that, we'll get back to you as soon as possible. But the main place that you will start to read FS2 communication is on the FS2 Padlet. So Mrs. Wade is about to share, oh, we've actually got it there on the screen, I'm hiding it. So we've got the Padlet link there. We're also going to send out a poster this week which has got all of the Padlet links for all of the year groups along with the Instagram pages as well. So we also have D6, which is an app which will be about sort of whole school communication. So if there are any letters that are going out to the whole of FS2 or any letters from the principal perhaps for the whole school or reminders about holidays and things, that's where you'll see those whole school announcements there, or perhaps whole year group announcements. If you're unsure how to download that, I will pop our PRE's email address in the chat just after I finish talking about this slide, and you can contact her to ask for more information about how to download D6. We also have face-to-face communication, so even though our school is closed to parents at the moment, we are more than happy to face-to-face via Zoom or Teams, whatever you are most comfortable with. So if you contact your teacher by email and say that you would like to speak face-to-face, they can arrange a sort of mutually agreed time for that to happen. We've also got Instagram, so we're very excited to start those pages up again this week. We've now got the photograph permission forms back from our parents. So if you have given permission for your child to be photographed in school, you will occasionally see photographs of what they've been doing in the classroom and what they've been learning about on Instagram for their year group, and also perhaps on Facebook, where we have whole school communication again. So if we've got a special event that happens, we might put it on Instagram, but we might also pop it on Facebook so that the whole school community can see what we have been up to in FS2. The GEMS Connect app is really useful because you can find out information about classes on there, you can pay your school fees, you can track your child's attendance through that app, and then at 3 times in the school year, the children's reports will be posted on GEMS Connect. You can also request a phone call with the teacher, so if you don't feel that it's something you need to talk about face-to-face via Teams or Zoom, you can also ask the teacher just to give you a quick call. And it might be that from time to time we might telephone you if we feel that it's easier to explain something on the telephone rather than getting in touch through email. So I'll pop Stephanie Foster's email address into the chat just now, and if you need any help downloading D6 or GEMS Connect, he will be able to help you with that.
Okay, photo permission. As Ms. Finn just said, we're going to be starting using Instagram this week, and there's also Facebook coming up. So please make sure that if you haven't already filled in the photo permission form, that you do so as soon as possible. The classroom teachers will be taking lots of photos throughout the year of the activities the children will be doing throughout the school day, also when they go to specialist lessons and whenever there's special events. So these photos will then be celebrated on display, social media, and also newsletters. Our Instagram page will be starting this week. So if you would like to partake in that, email your teacher your Instagram username after requesting to follow your account, and also the teacher will then make sure that you can then access the Instagram page. And if your child does not have photo permission, sadly he or she will not be included in these photos. So please make sure you complete that photo permission form as soon as possible if you would love to see your child's photo on any of the social media and newsletters and displays that we have throughout the school.
Home learning. So home learning will also begin soon once we start our phonics. And your children will receive a home learning book. And in that book, there will be some sound work, some read words, and a mixture of different activities that may help support your child at home, and hopefully they'll be fun and easy for you to do also with your child at home. You'll also find the resources that we send home on Padlet, which we spoke about earlier, so you'll be able to access them whenever you like from Padlet. We also have a Reading Rocket initiative. Outside each classroom we have a big rocket with 50 aliens on, and the children's faces filled on a cute little astronaut figure. And basically, obviously, reading is so important. We really want all of our children to love picking up a book and learning all of that language to help them with all of the learning that they do. So we will celebrate the amount of books that they read or share with you at home by moving them up along our reading rocket and hopefully getting as high as they can.
Okay, in FS2, it's really important that we theme our learning around the child's interest. So we have been getting to know your children a lot. And before we start our topic or our learning, we will find out what themes interest them. But usually our topics include superheroes, robots, under the sea, space, our school, people in the past, a healthy body, or we'd have a storybook focus on a particular story or particular author. But that list is not exhaustive, and we would base it on the child's interest in our class. Okay, now promoting independence is really important at this age. So things you can do at home to support that alongside the work that we'll be doing in class promoting independence are things like packing and unpacking their bag. So when you're getting their lunch ready and popping everything in their bag, it's really important you share that experience with them. They know what's in their bag, they're helping you to do it, and they're practicing that zipping open and closing their bag. Getting dressed. I know sometimes in the morning, it's very, very tempting that we're in a hurry and you just dress your child. So if you can, just make some opportunities for them to practice putting on their own clothes, including things like zips, buttons and fastenings. You could maybe do a little time at the weekend that you set aside, just practice those type of skills. Opening and closing containers, which is really helpful during snack time and lunchtime. Eating by themselves, and particularly when they start using things like a spoon and a fork, and using those tools and those cutlery pieces of equipment to help them to eat. So promoting that they do that on their own, even if they're making a little bit of a mess, they're really practicing to use the cutlery. Toileting and washing hands, obviously at this point in time, washing your hands is so important. So practicing the skill of doing that at home will really benefit the children when they come into class. Things like blowing their nose and washing their face. If after lunchtime that maybe they've had a yogurt or some other food that they've spilt on their face, they're going to need to be able to clean that themselves. So if you practice those skills at home, that will mean that they can independently do that in class. And things like climbing stairs and play equipment. Obviously, we don't want to keep supporting the children and climbing on things and down things when we go onto the playground. So if you can support that as well, it will promote their independence in school. Okay, if you have any questions, if you want to pop them in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer all of them for you.
So just while the parents are having a think, you may have some questions, you may not have questions, but I just wanted to sort of say thank you to the 3 teachers that are here today. I had nightmares literally about returning to school. I thought we were going to have about 60 crying children who would not want to part from their parents in the morning, and these 3 ladies here have really made a fantastic learning environment for these children. And the children are happily coming into school, which has just been an absolute dream at the beginning of this year. So thank you very much to the 3 of you. So if we've got any questions, I'll stay on for just another couple of minutes. If we don't have anything, I think that's us. So thank you very much, everybody, for attending today. And if you've got anything else, just please reach out to your class teacher. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Very much.
Bye.